and welcome to the Yerky Boys. May the Kandrona shine and strengthen you. My name is Will.
My name is Jonathan.
And we are the Yerky Boys.
Okay.
This is Season 1, Episode 16 of the TV show, the Animorphs TV show. This episode is entitled Tobias.
Wow. This one probably, it must have aired on January 17th, 1999.
I think this is the first time that, every source has agreed here that it was January 17th, 1999.
Yeah, well, last week you said that, but then Seropedia was different.
Oh, shit. Well, I didn't check Seropedia.
This time Seropedia is the same.
Damn. Yeah, so this is for sure the 17th.
How could you not? Why don't you check Seropedia after all they've done for us?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. You're right. I should check them.
The first line of the article for Tobias, today's episode on Seropedia, it reads, Tobias is the TV series, period.
Wow.
The next sentence reads, it is one of the few episodes not based on a book.
Fascinating.
I can't blame them too much for not proofreading, because who's clicking on this?
That pretty much tells you all you need to know, though. This is the TV show, and this is not based on a book.
Also worth mentioning, in the external link section on Seropedia, they have links to a screen gallery at ChristopherRalph.com.
Oh, shit.
Which unfortunately no longer works.
Oh, that sucks.
But at one point there was a Christopher-Ralph.com.
Damn. Oh, so the whole website's gone. It's not just the screen gallery.
It says it's giving me a 404 error. Yes, it does not exist. Oh, wait a minute. No, ChristopherRalph.com does exist.
Ooh.
I was wrong. It says we were the largest and most up-to-date Christopher Ralph fan site. Although we've been sorely lacking in updates, I don't have the heart to shut it down completely. Currently, the site is down as I'm working on updating some behind-the-scenes coding and getting the site exclusives and things that may not be that easy to find back online. Once everything's back up, the site will likely remain static.
Wow.
There's 4 pictures of Christopher Ralph.
I get the feeling this is probably still the biggest Christopher Ralph fan site. Regardless of all that.
Yeah, you may be right. Wow,
Christopher Ralph, of course, the actor who plays Tobias, as all of our longtime listeners know.
Yeah, well, if you don't know, you're going to know after today's episode, because it is, of course, called Tobias.
Yes, it's a big Tobias episode.
What else was this actor, what did he do that was worthy of a fan site? Is this just an Animorphs fan?
Well, it's an Animorph. They probably got into him via Animorphs, and then they branched out to his other work.
Right, such as the one episode of Warehouse 13.
Right, of course. Yes, how could we forget?
And a voice in the dub for the anime Slam Dunk.
Well, damn. There you go. This guy's a superstar.
Yeah. Anyway, we can start talking about the episode today, I think.
Yeah, sure. Let's see here. So this is Tobias. This is January 17th, 1999. This was directed by, did we figure out how to say this guy's name? Graham Lynch?
You have to say it with a Scottish accent. Graham Lynch.
Yeah, that guy. And written by Carl Ellsworth, which is the same writing and directing team as for The Reaction. And I think that's the only other episode that either of them worked on so far.
Yeah, so far. One of our favorite episodes.
Yes.
No, I'm sorry, least favorite.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Uh-oh. Yeah. Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
You got me excited there for a second.
Yeah, but instead, it's bad.
We've got some new actors who show up.
Sure.
Jeff Jones, who of course plays Fred. We all know and love Fred.
Let's just not to be confused with Jeffrey Jones from Ferris Bueller and from Sexual Assault Accusations.
No, this is this is Jeff Jones. We'll talk
Yeah,
about Fred when we get to him.
yeah.
Uh, and we have Jennifer Podemsky as Samantha, who I have a guess as to who that is in the episode, but I don't know for sure.
Mhm. I do as well. Yes.
We have Dan Petronievich
Yeah.
as Gerald, who could be one of two guys. I think I know which one he is.
Yeah, I know who Gerald is.
Okay, and Dominic. This how do you say this name?
Kutsakreya.
There you go.
Kutsakreya.
I need you for the accents. I can't
Hey,
pronounce these names.
Kutsakreya.
Dominic
Hey, hey,
Kutsakreya
Dominic Kutsakreya.
as
Hey, come
taxi
on.
driver.
Hey, 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 I gotta go get some gabagoo, and then I gotta pick up an Animorph. Hey.
That's basically what he's like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um. So yeah, as we said, this is not a book. You might remember last episode there was no Tobias and no Axe, and Rachel said that Tobias and Axe have been laying low. So you might be wondering, what exactly have Tobias and Axe been up to while they're laying low?
Wow.
You might be
That is not
wondering that.
a connection I made. Do you
Do you-
think that that's a connection they made, or is that just a coincidence?
well, I mean, I was certainly wondering it.
Like, but I mean,
Were you not
do you,
wondering what could Axe and Tobias be up to while they're laying low?
but
This was all that was on my mind.
do you actually think that this is supposed to be what they were doing, or this is? I think this episode was just here, and it just happened to come out here. Like, I don't know that I believe there's a rhyme or reason to any of this. Yeah,
Uh,
maybe though.
I think at absolute most they threw that line in last episode to explain why Axe and Tobias weren't there, and they put this episode here because they realized they hadn't shown off Axe or Tobias in a while, and then those
Yeah,
two things
yeah.
lined up.
There is no line in this episode. Hey, where are Jake, Cassie, Rachel, and Marco? Oh
No,
well, Rachel does show up,
and
but
Cassie does too,
well, I
technically.
mean, they show up. Yeah, technically.
Yeah, technically.
Oh man, can you imagine if on The Sopranos there was Yerks? It
Go
might be
on.
like I can't do a fucking Tony Soprano. Forget it.
What are you even doing?
I don't know. I thought it'd be funny if Tony got mad at AJ for joining a sharing meeting, and he was like, "Ah, my fucking kid," you know.
Sure, but like what prompted this?
We were talking about it, Dominic
Oh,
Kutzacrea, and
okay.
he
Okay.
was
It
Italian.
just and it just took a little while for that idea to kind of
Well, no, it was in there, but you were talking, so I just said,
mm,
"Well, I'll just wait until he's finished,
I see.
not
Well,
listen to
but
what
you
he's
said
saying."
should we start talking about the episode, so I did. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
I thought maybe
yeah, yeah,
if you had the idea earlier, you wouldn't have been ready to start talking yet.
yeah. But it was worth the wait. It was good where it was.
Oh, okay, good. I'm glad. It's kind of like this episode. Good where it is.
At, I just whacked a guy, and a fucking slug came out of his ear.
Fucking slut? Oh, slug. I see.
Slug. What the fuck's wrong with you? I said a slug.
I
Dear
don't know.
Lord, this is a
Sometimes.
feminist
Oh
podcast.
shit.
Oh
Well,
my
I'm sorry,
god.
listeners. I'm sorry. Listen, we don't. I'm assuming. I don't know. I'm assuming we don't have any emails, so I have to say something to get myself in trouble, so that you write in to us.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, Tobias. This episode is called Tobias,
Yes.
and we have been waiting the whole show pretty much
Right.
for it because we did not do the encounter.
Right.
We still have not done. I don't remember the name of the book where he talks to the Elemist. What's that
Right.
book? What's that called?
Is that one the change?
Sure.
I'm gonna go look it up because it's been a while. It
It's,
is the
it's
change.
wow. I almost didn't believe that was an actual title of a book. um so this is like, okay, are we gonna do we're doing, and also Tobias has barely been in any of these episodes. This is their
Right.
chance to give us one of those books.
Right. This is as I said at the end of last episode, I bet Tobias is going to turn into a boy this episode. That was my bet.
Yeah, well, your bet in a way became accurate,
In a way. In a way, but not
technically speaking.
necessarily in the way you might have hoped or expected.
Yeah, this is, as the Seropedia entry said, this is one of the few episodes not to based on a book.
Right.
Um, yeah, it feels like they took once again elements of different books, including one that hadn't been written yet, I think. But
Did they
yeah, we'll
even
talk about it.
well, I'm curious. I'm curious where you see them because I didn't this looked very, I don't know, like original story to me the whole time, and maybe I just didn't catch it. So I'm curious what you caught.
I guess just the general, Tobias and Axe
Mhm.
shorming it up in the woods.
Sure.
I mean, it is not the Elemis thing, but it is like Tobias. We'll talk about how this happens, but like being a boy in his room, it
Mhm.
is different. I also
I
the
see.
book that I thought it kind of reminded me of that I don't think was out was I believe it's Megamorphs 4 or maybe it's 3.
Mm.
The one where they
4.
show you, yeah, where they, I don't even remember. They go back in time and it's like Tobias in school, and it was very much like that.
Yeah, yeah,
But
that's 4. I
I
knew it
guess
couldn't be 3. 3 yeah. There was no Revolutionary War, for example,
I can't
in this
remember because
episode.
they both like change. It doesn't matter. We don't need to
Yeah,
talk about that right now.
it's fine. Yes, no, but this is a Shore Me episode for sure, yes.
Yeah, it's stormy as shit, dude. Yeah, it's really a double header, a two-hander
Yeah, get
is what I meant.
Axe and Tobias hanging out in the woods. I mean, I'll just kinda spoil it. Uh, you
Wow.
know, the literal plot of this episode is that Axe and Tobias are hanging out in the woods. Now there's stories within that, but that's what's happening here.
It's almost a bottle episode,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah, I do know.
All right.
All right. So we open up on
So,
Tobias. He's in his room, and as a boy, not as a bird.
mhm, right.
Right. This is like, I guess, before he became a bird.
Yeah, we're back
Um,
to before.
back to before, and his alarm goes off, and he gets up. Right, and his like aunt's calling him down for his first day of school.
Wow.
So that's pretty exciting. You open on this and you go, "Whoa! I haven't seen Tobias as a boy in forever. I'm going to get to learn about Tobias's life. Maybe."
Unless you are not a person who knows about Animorphs and you just caught this episode, and then this is just an incredibly boring intro about a kid waking up.
Right, and you're like, "Who's this kid?" I don't.
Why do I give a shit about this kid? Right out the gate, I gotta
Mhm.
ask. His alarm goes off.
Yeah.
By the way, this alarm clock looks like it's from 1975.
Yes,
I,
this is the alarm clock that he had in 1999 that is used to belong to his mother when she was his age.
I guess it kind of tracks for Tobias. It does feel like he should have some kind of a Nickelodeon clock or a clock that's translucent and purple, and you can see the inner workings, and there's green slime or something. Some kind of real '90s clock.
Hmm.
But he doesn't.
Yeah, it's got like a radio on it too. Looks like I can see
Yeah,
the little.
old school. His alarm goes off at
Yeah.
7:43.
Yes. Right. Yeah, I was gonna say that too. I have a note about that.
Now,
So
the only way I can justify this
yeah.
is maybe he just it goes off like every minute, like it was set for
Mm,
7:30 and he keeps snoozing it like every single minute.
right. That could be. There's another way to justify it too, which is that Tobias is um ridiculously lazy. He knows exactly the minimum amount of time that he can take to get out the door, and he is not going to get up 1 minute earlier than that, right? He's like, I can't get ready for school in less than 7 minutes. So fucking 7 minutes it is. That's it. And then I'm out at
Mm.
7:50 and then I'm at school at 8 or something.
Oh yeah, that sounds like how I would do it.
That that's a lot like how I used to do it, except I would set my alarm to a round number and then hit snooze until I was at that time.
Well, if your theory is true, then what you're saying is it's really saying that Tobias definitely intentionally stayed in Hawkmorph because he's so good at calculating times.
Mm, mm.
He would never have done 2 hours by accident.
Right. Yes. Okay. maybe, sure, why not?
Yeah, that's
Uh,
that's good foreshadowing.
Now we get his, aunt calling him down. First of all, his aunt's voice is, like, fucking insane. Like, it doesn't sound like a real person.
Does it? It doesn't?
I don't know, she's like, so she calls him, Toby, I guess, but she's like, "Toby, time to come down for school. Are you up, Toby? Come on, Toby." I can't even do it. It's just, like, she has a cadence to her that's just like
She's drunk.
No, she sounds like a fucking, like, 1950s robot or something, I don't know.
Hmm.
It's
Sure.
weird, I don't like it.
I This is what it's like to have a loving parental figure in your life trying to get you to do something.
It is funny because, like, I am led to believe by the books, right, which don't necessarily apply here, that his aunt and uncle are like they don't give a shit about him. Like they probably didn't even notice he was missing for a month. He can just do whatever he wants. They don't care. And here she's like calling him awake. And it seems like the primary thing that he is grumpy with her about is that she's calling him Toby, but he's a big kid now and he wants to be called Tobias. And meanwhile, she's like, "You gotta get up for school. How did you sleep? Was the bed comfy?" And it's like, boy, it sounds like she kind of maybe actually cares about his well-being here, and he's just being a little angsty
Mm.
teenage shit.
Yeah. Well, I thought you would be pretty excited about the first canonical mention of Toby on the show.
Right. Yeah. Now we know. Now we know. That's where it came from. It
Our
wasn't
first
Jeremy
Toby
didn't just
mention.
make that up. Tobias
Right.
told him that sometimes he was called Toby.
Right. Well, maybe, once the show gets to Hork-Bajir Chronicles and all that,
Right,
which I'm
of
sure we're
course.
going to do, it's probably going to come up in season 2.
Yeah, yeah.
That could be a nice callback moment. Tobias will, like right now, he's embarrassed about being called Toby, but then
Mhm.
once he misses his parents because he's a hawk, he's going to be like, and his aunt, I mean, he's going to
Right.
be like, wow, this calling you Toby is like a symbol of who I used to be. That's nice.
Yeah. On the same note, um, this house and neighborhood are kind of nice, right?
Hmm.
Like the house isn't
Well,
like it's not like a nice house, but like it's a totally fine normal house. This does not look like a shitty house that like some neglectful drunk is keeping. I'm looking out the window. It's like a nice suburban place. I don't know. I don't get the feeling that Tobias is in a bad home here.
remember, this is TV. So on TV, a normal family house is like Full House. It's like a
Mhm.
mansion basically. So for TV standards, this is the slums.
Hmm.
And especially for Canadian standards.
I see. I see. It's just that I'm an American. I'm not used to that quality of life.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, they're living it up over there. He does have a lot of pillows on. He's got like 3 pillows on his bed. I was trying to figure out what the posters in his room were.
Hmm.
One of them I cannot read. I swear it looks like it says the Christopher kind or the something kind. It looks like some kind of a boy band. I can't figure it out. It's too blurry. And then he's got one on his door for So They Say and the Canadian Tour 97. Maybe that's a Canadian band.
I guess.
I didn't know. I didn't know what that was. Yeah, but I mean, his house looks. It's a little. It's slightly like less bare and more bare and less welcoming than Jake's house, for instance. I would say, but also I don't think that no one in the set department on this
Yeah.
show was like, "Oh, we need to make sure his house." It was just whatever the fuck they had.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
Nobody
I
put
but
thought in it.
I do think that like all of this is kind of leading toward a greater thesis because over the course of this episode there are a number of ways in which they change him from the books and it all does seem to point toward changing him from being a more depressing character, right? Like nobody wants this kid. He's got a bad life. He's totally neglected. Nobody talks to him. Into more of like a normal teenage angst. I don't have a lot of friends at school. I feel like nobody understands me. You know,
Hmm.
I don't like my aunt and uncle or whatever, even though they're trying their best. Um,
Yeah.
it goes with his school shooter vibes in a way, I think.
Well, it's yes, it's more relatable to
Hmm.
the kids watching Animorphs. They're more likely to be this Tobias than the Tobias who lives in the woods.
In a sense, that's true, but I also feel like it doesn't necessarily make him less relatable to exaggerate all of it because that's just how it works, right? Like you're sitting here like, yes, that's an accurate depiction of me, but the whole point is that the accurate depiction is that his life is not that bad. But I feel like my life is shit. So I want to read the depressing Tobias who everyone actually does hate, and he actually has a shitty life because then I say, "Oh, that's me." You know?
Sure. Yeah.
Fuck
I
kids.
don't I don't know. Well, hey, be careful with the way you say that. His aunt, by the way, is named Aunt Mary. I also have an Aunt Mary.
Hmm.
Technically, she's my godmother, not blood related, but I do call her Aunt Mary.
Ah, okay, not blood related. Interesting.
Okay.
Well,
That's
we just know about you and extended
We are
family, all that
20 minutes into
sort
this
of thing.
episode. You need to calm down.
I have to get it out of my system now. What do you
No, you don't. You don't
I
ever. You can
do.
keep it in your system. Just keep it in your system. That's fine to keep it in.
I just don't know. I just don't know.
What
Um,
happens at the end of this intro is that we zoom out, and
yeah.
this Tobias going to his first day of school, it turns out, is being played on Axe's portable DVD player.
Yes, this silly looking thing. It's got it looks doesn't it look kind of like it has a like a touchpad or something?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it
Like
certainly doesn't have buttons or a keyboard.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I didn't think it probably is more like portable DVD player, but I never had one of those, so I was just looking at it like it kind of looks like I think I have it described in my notes as like cross between SP and DS, but the size of a Walkman.
Yeah, well, it's too small to be a DVD player.
Hmm.
Like, I don't think a DVD would barely fit in that.
Hmm.
I don't know. I mean, I guess it looks more like CD player size, although that would be the size of a DVD. So I don't know. But yeah, it's a little clamshell thing where the top pops up and there's a screen.
Yeah, and this is the thing that Axe has built. Oh, actually, question:
He has built
Does
it?
I think so?
Does he say that?
Well, where else did he get it?
I don't know. He brought it with him from space.
I thought he didn't. Well, I don't know. Maybe he had it the whole time. I assumed he built it from Radio Shack parts.
I mean, I don't know. I didn't think they gave us an explanation is
Yeah.
all.
Well, now here's the thing. He does give us a name.
Yeah.
It's not a name from the books as far as I can pick up on. I actually have a question for you. You were on
Uh-huh.
the Seropedia page. Do they have a transcript for this episode and does it say what this thing is called?
No, because I was wondering if you would have any idea because he says it one time.
Yes.
My best attempt to understand what he refers to it as is dark Tydek?
Okay.
Dark Tydek?
I
I don't know
had
what the fuck.
Dartakthet.
Now, later on, I think he does refer to it as the diary.
Sure.
So I don't know if maybe it's like dark tag diary, dark diary.
Maybe,
I
yeah,
don't know
maybe Axe
what.
just can't talk. He's tripping over his
Hmm.
words.
Yeah.
It's just
Well,
a
he's in
diary.
human morph, of course, since they're in the
Yeah.
woods and alone. He just likes being in a human morph.
Well, this is the Hirak Delest recorder, is what this is.
Well, so I, at this moment, legitimately thought that this maybe was the disc, and we were
Mm,
about to get the disc episode, and the disc was going to be a thing that let Tobias turn back into a boy. No,
right.
completely not in that world at all.
Yeah.
No
No,
disc.
I mean, it seems like maybe listen, the disc is the Hirak disc, so it must have memory stored on it. And this thing here, like
Mm,
records and plays back memories. So
that's
in
what it does.
theory, when they get the Hirak disc, they're gonna put it in the Dark Tide tech mech, and it's
Hmm.
gonna play it. Uh, I I mean, I did think that this, because I was like, they don't have the disc, so I did think, oh, maybe this is the episode where they get the disc since Axe has a Hirak player. No.
Mhm.
No, they remind you that the disc exists again, but,
It is just quite the existence of this device
mhm.
that is so casually introduced. Oh yeah, I have this thing by the way. It can read your thoughts and play them like a movie. Tobias doesn't seem phased by this whatsoever. Like this is the most outrageous technology that's ever been introduced. This is really what's it called technology? Isn't this the guys from the one planet, the escort? Don't they have
Oh, yeah, they have
memory?
these too. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. This is escort tech. Once you get into it, it also kind of reminded me of the time matrix a little
Mm.
bit. So, you know, different elements,
Yeah.
I think, at play.
Yeah, a lot of ideas from the books coming in here, but yeah, not that much. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. Tobias is like he acts as an alien. He's got alien shit. What do you want?
But it's
I
almost
mean,
like, is he going to be Urkel now? And just every episode, he's got a new wacky invention? Because if he can make this, then he can do anything. The next episode, he can say, "Hey, I have a time machine." Maybe Axe just invents the time matrix and just has it.
I feel like
Next
there's a
episode, hey,
bit of a
I
tech
made
gap
a
between Time Machine and this thing, but
and reading your thoughts and making them a video that's
yes.
exactly correct. That's just as outlandish and impossible as time travel.
I mean, I don't know that that's true, but
I feel like both aren't possible. But maybe you know something I don't.
I mean, I don't know. In theory, your memories are in fact stored in some kind of pattern that could be read, and yeah, it wouldn't be that realistic, but you could just enhance it with AI. It's fine.
Listen, if it was the Chi doing it, maybe, but
Whereas
Axe,
in
I don't
theory, I
think
have
so.
no idea if time travel's possible. So,
Right. Well, I mean, we did use it to bring Kay Applegate
oh
on the
right,
show.
yes, that's true. But that's Elemis stuff.
Right. Well, it was the
It's not
time
the
matrix at
same.
least once.
Right, the time matrix is Elemist stuff.
Right, right, right. I don't know. It's just it's just what they introduced. It's a device to have flashbacks, but
Yeah.
it is. I don't. If I knew
I,
this thing was there, I'd be watching it all the time. All the Animorphs. Also, like I don't know. There's a lot of questions about this device that obviously aren't meant to be asked.
I really do think that this device must be setting up the T-Rack disc. Like this must be the thing that plays it, right? Like that must be
Uh,
right,
maybe, or maybe
right.
we never see it again.
Maybe we never see it again, but it just feels so connected to it. Can I also just say though, because at this point we get the transition to the opening, it is very funny seeing like, oh, Tobias and Axe are here, and then the opening pops up, and because it's the new describe, it's got the voiceover telling you about the series. It's like, hi, my name is Jake, and here's all my friends that we all hang out. And then of course in this episode, not Jake doesn't even show up. None of them show up. In fact, out of the ones that show up, it's Tobias and Axe who isn't even in the opening.
It is a little jarring. They probably should have figured that out, but oh well.
Oh well, that's where
Yeah,
we are.
yeah.
Um,
I mean, yeah.
but anyway, yeah, they're in the woods. They're in the woods, and there's a stream. Axe has got a little bird next to him. They're talking. It's fun.
You
I
mean
like,
Tobias?
yeah, I mean the bird is Tobias. I like Tobias's little like head wobble. Did you notice? When he's, like, talking
um,
to Axe and he's just, like, moving his head all around like
yeah,
a bird does.
yeah,
I enjoyed this scene of them talking. I like them shorming it up. I'm having
yeah.
fun.
Well, it's it's as much or more shorming than they ever did in the
Oh,
books.
yeah, for sure it is, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, I mean, this episode is. I mean, we've seen Axe. He's had a few episodes to shine,
Mhm.
but Tobias might as well almost have not been on this show up until this point.
Yeah.
This does feel like a course correction for them to say, "Hey, we have another kid. We should probably figure out something to do with him, maybe."
Yes. Yeah, I do agree. This episode does feel like Christopher Ralph was getting antsy because they never use him. We better throw an episode in. Although it is weird that that's not the episode where they make him human. He's just here to be here for an episode.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Spoilers. They do not. There's no Elemist. He does not find any way to morph again in this episode.
There might be an Elemist, but We'll get to it.
Get the fuck out of here. There might be an Elamist. What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, we'll get to it.
Oh, jeez. Anyway, it's surprising they didn't take advantage of that. It just feels
Mhm.
like, what are you waiting for? Just just say this thing lets him do that too. They
Yeah,
almost get to it at the end. It feels
they
like they're
almost do.
this close to just saying, by the way, you can morph now because fuck it, there's no more Nothlets. Who gives a shit? But they don't.
Yeah, they don't. Um, do we want to go back into Tobias's memories?
Yeah, we're into Tobias's memories. Axe says you need to think of something to populate. So that's the other thing. Is not only not only can they, because I don't think this is just a metaphor. I think
No.
they literally now are
Yeah,
inside the device and the memories are all around them. So they're not just
yeah,
watching it on a screen, they literally inhabit the memories physically too.
yeah. I mean, Axe says it's projecting the memories physically around them. So I don't know if that means like in their minds it's like they're there, or if it's an actual physical projection, or what exactly that means. But effectively, they're standing around watching these things. We've got the memories kind of green screened behind them, while
The
Axe is
most
sitting there with a bird on
advanced
his arm.
sophisticated technology on planet Earth. And he's using it to be like, let's walk down memory lane, Tobias.
Well, that's what it does. I don't know what to. If you had a TV and people were like, "That's the most sophisticated technology ever," and you're using it to watch TV shows, and you'd be like, "Well, I don't know how to make it. It probably could do other stuff too, but all I know how to make is a TV. What do you want from
Hmm.
me?
Right. Sure.
I'm not like a theoretician or whatever. I just know how to build the TV. I got the schematics."
Sure. Whatever point you're making, I agree. Let me know if you figure it out. Yeah, and I
Everybody
mean,
knows it except for you. You're the only
I
person who
just
didn't get what I was saying.
right. No, no, I think you totally know exactly what you're trying to say. It makes sense. Tobias has to think thoughts, which I feel like is
Mhm.
dangerous. I just feel like Axe just saying, "Hey,
Mm,
Tobias, you got to remember something." That's
right.
asking for trouble. you know,
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
you really got to be careful with that. First thing that pops into your head, Tobias, 14-year-old boy. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
See, I'm letting you take this one. I got in trouble too many times already. I'm letting you say it.
Yeah.
You can go wherever you
Well,
want with this.
we'll get in trouble later on.
Okay.
So
Uh,
it's Tobias's first day of school.
yes. Immediately he gets his books knocked out of his hands by some chick who bumps into him because he's a
Yeah.
loser, I guess.
Yeah, only losers have that happen to them.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Um,
Um,
he tries to
mhm.
go to what he thinks is his locker, but there's this like bully jock type senior. Is this Gerald?
Yeah, I think this is
Okay,
Gerald.
okay. I thought so, but I wasn't sure.
Gerald, who is one of the more Canadian actors on the show. His
That's saying something.
bullying is not intimidating
No.
at all because he's just like, hey, what? Now you've got attitude, hoser. Get out of. Can't do a fucking Canadian accent. It sounds terrible, but
Yeah,
he
it's
sounds like fucking Bob and Doug McKenzie
it's
trying to
not
push him
fucking
out of his
good.
locker. It's it's very. He's also Tobias is like taller than this kid. It's not
There's
a
too
good
it's too nice up
bully.
in Canada. They might have nicer houses than us, but they sure do not know how to bully.
Now I will say this, and I bet you'll disagree.
Uh-oh.
Sure, you will. You're talking about the house looks too nice. This school, now that I'm looking at it in this episode, looks
Yeah.
kind of shitty.
It does. I have notes in here to the extent that Tobias's house is much nicer than the school he goes to. The school is
Okay.
shitty. There's a I mean, a bit later on, it's not quite where we're talking to this guy, where there's the locker, and I swear to God, the locker is
Yeah.
just like smeared with shit. It looks gross.
There's like graffiti on lockers. I don't know if I saw
Yeah,
it.
I didn't have that shit in my school.
Yeah, no, and neither did I. I mean, look, I'm sure these schools exist, but
Yeah, like
I,
I
they're
get.
supposed to
Oh, I guess
be.
it is graffiti. I'm just flipping to where it's Tobias and Rachel. There's like, but you can't quite. It. I guess it's graffiti that got kind of washed off, but it just looks like brown smears all over the front. It's disgusting.
Well, some of us are just thinking about shit smears a lot, and that's
That's
maybe
just what it
something you
looks
saw.
like. What can I tell you?
Sure, it's what it looks like. But yeah, it's. I mean, part of this is just that it's a bare bones set.
Mhm.
We don't have the signs like Friday's hot dog day. That's not here.
I know, it's sad.
No sharing signs are up yet
Mhm.
that we see. Rachel's here though,
Yeah, she's gotta
so
save him from the bully. Uh, because I
yeah.
guess their locker name. It is kind of weird. Like Rachel shows up, clearly has never met this kid before, Tobias, and just shows up to save him from the bully. Like pulls out his locker designation, and is like, "Oh, hey, just like I thought, you and me we're locker buddies. Come on." And it feels like maybe that should just be a lie, but it turns out no, that's true. They are in fact right next to each other. It's lucky it worked out that way, I guess.
Well, I think
Um,
Elfangor planned it that way. He picked the
mm.
locker mates.
That all makes sense. I did also enjoy Axe asking, "Are seniors always so rude?" And I'm just like, Axe, you're a fucking Arist. If you walked into like the Warriors' quarters and you were like, "Hey, I think my bunk's supposed to be around here somewhere," they would fucking kill you. Like, are you serious right now?
Forget
You
about
should know.
Eris.
This guy
You
is like, he is not rude.
you don't think Axe got his books knocked out of his hand while he
Oh,
was
I
heading
do.
to class and thinking about driftball and girls or
I
whatever?
do, but I think he got probably so fucking beat up by the other Andalites that he's probably looking at Tobias and being like, "Boy, school is so nice. All the kids are so nice to you." Well, he didn't even hit you.
Yeah. Well, yeah. This is the most bullying Canada can envision. It's the worst they can think it can get. There is a
That's right.
sign that says "Think before you drink."
Oh, yes, I do have that written down.
That's pretty good. Think before you drink. Is Rachel supposed to be? I'm asking this for the books as well as the TV shows because I'm not really sure.
Mhm.
How popular is she?
I
Like, is
don't know.
she a cool? Because it almost would be more believable if she saves Tobias if it's like, oh, she has status, she has clout. But she doesn't seem to have any friends besides Cassie, who's definitely not popular.
Yeah, I
but
feel
but
like
she's pretty and fashionable. So what's her deal?
I do feel like her popularity changes over the course of the series. Like I feel like at the beginning of the series, she probably has some level of popularity, but it's very hard to tell how much. And I feel like by the time you get to the middle of the series, it's kind of like, yeah, I mean, Rachel, yeah, she's like tall and pretty and whatever, but also she doesn't talk to anyone. And when she does, she's super rude and like pushes people around and gets into fights and whatever. And she's kind of an ass. Nobody likes her. Like,
Yeah, but isn't that all popular girls, at least in classic high school movies?
But the thing is, in the classic high school movie, you do that by assembling a clique, right? Rachel can't assemble
Hmm.
a clique because every girl who would be on her side, she's like stabbing them with a fork and being like, "Get the fuck out of my face," and like pushing their face down into their
Hmm.
food and punching them in the back of the head.
I think the modern Animorphs reboot, you
Hmm.
might make Rachel more of a Regina
Hmm.
George type, to put it in Mean Girls parlance.
Because I feel like at the beginning, Rachel is more the type to be like she could be the most popular girl in school, but she doesn't cultivate
Mm.
it because that's not something that she cares about that much, and so
I kind
she's
of
got
like,
like some middling level.
yeah, I like the idea of her like coming from that place and evolving through Animorphs. Maybe I
Hmm.
don't know. There's something you could do with that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Here's an idea:
Sure.
Wicked,
Hmm.
and it's Rachel is Glinda and Cassie is Elphaba. That's
Hmm.
good. That's really good.
Okay, I'm gonna take your word for it that it's good.
That's really good. Rachel singing popular to Cassie. All the people who wrote the like Les Mis song parody fanfics for on the Animorphs fanfic site,
Oh yeah, they love this.
they
They're
would
eating that
fucking
up.
love this.
Well, you can write that. This will be your modern Les Mis Animorphs fanfiction.net. You can write this and put it up.
Popular. You're gonna be popular. I'll teach you the proper morphs to be
Yeah, good
yerks and
one.
horks. You can also be a bird. Okay.
Yeah, you're
All
doing
right.
good over there. You're
Yeah.
doing good. You're filling our time for us.
I should have done that today. How about Rachel's? I'm trying to figure out what's on the inside of Rachel's locker, too. She has a
Mm.
bunch of magazine cutouts. One of them says something about a robot.
Hmm.
Another one
Doesn't
has
feel
some kind
right.
of picture, and at the top, the headline in red says "busted," like it's like someone getting arrested or something. I don't
Hmm.
know what. Can't tell what it is though.
Hmm. Yeah, it looks yeah, somebody Rachel didn't like got in trouble. Maybe that's her.
Because yeah, maybe it's her. If it was book Rachel, that would be her. Yeah.
She does have a picture of like a
There's a
flamingo or
dog up
something.
there. Oh yeah, and a flamingo.
I was like, maybe she already kind of had a predilection for birds at this point.
Oh yeah, that's right. The inside of her locker is all like teen heartthrob pictures, but it's birds of prey. That makes a lot of sense.
It does. I'm that's how I would have made this locker. A little
Yeah.
foreshadowing there.
She also opens the locker like Fonzie for him by hitting it.
Oh, right. Yeah, that was stupid.
You mean cool?
It was cool when the Fonz did it, but
Missed opportunity here. It doesn't look like any Tobias has the math power textbook.
mm,
He has an algebra textbook, just says algebra, but I kind of miss math power.
right.
Yeah.
And you would
Also,
call that a missed opportunity, I guess.
yeah, I guess does Rachel say she's going to the pool or something? Because she has a towel over her
Yeah.
shoulder.
She does not say that, but she does have a towel over
Okay.
her shoulder so that either she's going to the pool or it's Thursday.
Uh,
Real ones know.
is this a
Anyway,
Hitchhiker's Guide reference?
yeah, of course.
I don't remember Thursday.
It was the day that the world blew up.
Oh, I was just gonna say like, or she's a real hoopy frood
When we
or
went
something.
to when I went to nerd
All
camp in
right.
the summers,
Nobody wants to hear about
everyone would always
this.
carry a towel on Thursdays.
This is not your fucking memory. We're not putting you through the dire attack. So shut the fuck up right now.
Damn, I want to go in the dire attack though. I think that's what we should do. We should have a dire attack ep.
Episode? Yeah, we should not do
Uh,
that.
all right. Axe's turn, maybe.
Axe just cuts in and is like, "Hey Tobias, your memory is really boring. Let's do one of mine instead."
Well, listen, I can't fault him because this Axe memory is a lot better than this Tobias memory.
Well, the episode's called Tobias. They could have called it
Right.
Tobias and Axe also.
Axe's day off. Those who subscribe to the Patreon know what I'm talking about here.
So this is a flashback of Axe's first day on Earth, or maybe his
I
second day.
Yeah, this must be very early in Axe's time on Earth. He doesn't quite
He
know how to
is,
walk or dress himself yet.
yes, he's staying in Cassie's barn. Of course, he's a human. He doesn't go andalate a single time in this whole episode.
No.
Well, technically he must, but it's off screen. We
Yes.
don't see it.
Yeah.
Um,
Hair down alert for Cassie, by the way.
Hair down alert for Cassie. I mean, tell me you didn't feel the weird sexual tension in this scene.
Well, where Axe is, he's got Jake's clothes on backwards, and Cassie has to undress him so that he can put his clothes on properly.
Yes. Yes. I'm like, what is happening in this show? He spins around and she catches him in her arms and
Mhm.
embraces him. Then proceeds to slowly undress him and take this sweater off like down his entire body to his feet as she bends down. It's so fucking like, did Dan Schneider produce this shit? What's going on? It's
Good. Now
strange.
it's your turn to. This is why I had to get it out of my system early, so I wouldn't go too far in some places.
Anyway, but Cassie gives him a cool leather jacket.
I
What another
love
Fonzie
Axe's
connection.
fucking leather jacket. It's so he's so good. Axe in his fucking leather jacket.
It's almost, do you think it's as good as Marco's orange jacket or not quite?
Well, no, it's not. I would trade Marco's orange jacket in a second if I could get that back, but
Yeah,
um, but
agreed.
but Axe is great in this jacket, and he goes off. He's gonna go off to. He's kind of sneaking out. I think Cassie thinks he's gonna stay in the barn, but Axe is a little mischievous. He's gonna go out. He's gonna have
He's
a
going
fun little
out.
adventure. And so we get to see Axe like stumbling because he can't walk yet around town in his fucking jacket. It's really good.
Don't you? Shouldn't they have instincts when you're in morph? Shouldn't he know how to walk? No one's ever like, oh man, I'm a tiger. It's hard to like even a bird. They can just start flying usually, right? I don't know. Who cares?
Yeah, I guess that's true. I was gonna say most animals can walk like pretty fast after they're born, but humans take like a year or so maybe. But I guess birds also don't fly for a while. So
Um, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't matter. He's also got $10 that I
yes,
guess is this Jake's jacket?
this must be Jake's jacket,
Jake
right? Or
is
maybe it's
not cool
Tobias's
enough to
jacket.
wear this. It looks much more like Tobias's
Maybe
jacket.
Cassie was like, "Fucking Tobias is a bird now. He doesn't need this anymore. You can have it, Axe."
Yeah. Well, Tobias might be keeping his clothes there to build a nest in or something. I
Mm,
don't know.
that's his nest. I see. There's some fucking
um
like Axe's day off music that's going on here too, which
this
is
music,
it's fucking insane.
it sounds like Little Shop of Horrors. It's like a doo-wop beat. It's like dooba doo bop ba shooby doo bop bop. Like I don't know what they're going for.
No, I
I don't
don't
know what
either,
it's supposed
but
to be. I guess
I
because he's got the leather jacket. Later on, someone compares
yeah.
him to Grease.
Yeah, and it's also supposed to be like it is supposed to be goofy, right? Like the
Yeah,
music
right.
is goofy.
Yeah. um,
It's a lot.
he's trying to go somewhere. I don't. He just wants to study humans.
Yes.
So I guess he knows about the mall,
I guess
or
that's
he doesn't. I don't
yeah,
know.
I don't
But
know. He's heading to the mall, I guess. He gets picked up by a cab driver who takes him to the mall.
and I'm sure, of course, there's cabs everywhere in Canada
Sure, yeah.
or California. I don't know if either place really has cabs. I mean, I'm sure
I
there
mean,
are
this is the
cabs in
90s. Uber
California.
didn't exist. They probably do have cabs.
They probably do, but to the extent where you can just walk down the street and find one, I don't think so.
Well, listen, in this case, Axe is kind of like waving at cars for a while, so maybe it
Yeah.
took a while to get
It's
there.
been hours, yeah.
Yeah. Although the second time he runs into him, he's literally out behind a store by like the dumpsters, and the cab just pulls up immediately. And it's like, what were you doing back there, buddy? That's a little sketchy,
Yeah, well, yeah,
but we'll get
yeah,
there.
we'll get there.
Um,
Uh, the cab
fucking
driver does take him to the mall.
yes, he does take him to the mall. There's a lot of the fucking cabbie is great. He does not like Axe's shit, but it's
I
fine.
mean, he's just a straight up New York cab driver.
Yeah. And Axe is doing all the like, oh, I am waiting for the airlock to open. And the guy's like, I'm not a fucking chauffeur, buddy. Open the goddamn door. It's good.
Yes, I mean, I did like when he Axe pays him and he says, change, and Axe goes, change into what? That is funny.
Oh, I also enjoy because Axe is at the mall and he says, "Are you certain there will be an adequate sampling of humans who resemble me?" And he says, "Kid, I don't shop in malls because they're filled with humans who resemble you."
That's right.
Good.
It's a good
Good
thing
stuff.
this cab driver is not a controller because
Right.
Axe is not doing a good job being discreet or pretending he's not an alien. He refers to
Yeah.
everyone as humans.
Yeah, he sure does.
But I
I
guess he would see him scratch his ear, so
right. He would just immediately know because he's an
yeah.
acolyte.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I love all this shit. The goofy music, Axe stumbling around, being a dumbass, looking like a loser, saying all these weird alien shit things. And I'm kind of watching this and just being like, instead of Animorphs, maybe we should just watch like Alan Strange or Mork and Mindy or Alf or something. I'd probably like that a lot better. this is
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is really doing it for me.
Yeah. Perfect Strangers. It's
Right.
kind of the same thing.
Uh
This cab ride costs $6.
yes.
How far do we think it was from Cassie's house to the mall?
I
She goes
don't
to the mall all the time, so it can't be more than like 20 minutes.
I can't really exchange 90s dollars for modern dollars. It's too big a difference.
I'm gonna figure it out.
Okay.
$6 in 1999 is equivalent to about 11.37 today.
Okay. Seems
It's
like it
actually
should.
not as yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that still
What?
seems like it should be reasonably far, right? Like that's not walking distance,
Right.
you know.
Sure. Yeah. No. I
So
don't know,
these
just
kids
trying to
aren't.
figure it out. Because I can't imagine $6, any cab being $6 anywhere. In New York City, they charge you $6 just for getting inside. Like, that's like the default fare before you even
Hmm.
go anywhere.
I mean, see, I never use any of that shit, so I don't even know.
Yeah, I know.
I would just walk.
Yeah. We know. Um, so there's that. I don't know. I also don't. He gives him change and doesn't appear to ask for or expect a tip, which I also is that a Canadian thing? Maybe the Canadians are so nice they just don't
Well, nobody
ask.
in only in America do you give. Outside of America, it's not expected, right? They get paid a living wage, so it's
I
like in
think
the
in
cost.
Canada they still have tipping though. I don't think that goes away in the
Hmm.
north across the northern border. I think
Hmm.
that's still a thing. What
Sure.
do I know?
I've never been to Canada.
You're such a
I've
loser.
only been to fucking Europe where they're weird about not tipping.
You have never experienced the Animorphs' native land.
That's true. Well, I'll have to go on a pilgrimage someday to
I googled
Toronto.
it. There is tipping in Canada.
Was there in the 90s though?
I'm sure there was. It's it's
Hmm.
it's uh, it's basically the same as ours. Like Canada and U.S. culture, it's the same damn thing. They're
I don't
just a
know. They
little
feel very
nicer.
foreign. We were just talking about how they're different up there. I feel like they're different.
Well, I think they're different, but I think they're also the same.
Hmm. I don't know about this.
User Saskatchewan on Reddit says tip culture is pretty much the same as it is in the U.S.
Anyway,
So
their
there you go.
axes in Siberia.
Now this is exciting. Yeah, Axe goes into Siberia, which we all know is the cyber cafe at the mall the Animorphs hang out at slash
Right.
arcade
Yes.
slash restaurant.
Place. The place that looks like
Um,
shit.
the outside of this, by the way, doesn't really look like a mall, but I believe maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like this is the first time they've actually said the name Siberia out loud.
You
Maybe they
might
did
be
once
right.
before.
It's been it's
It's been on
certainly
signs,
yes, it's been on signs. I don't know that they've actually said Siberia.
so that's pretty exciting. Actually, I think Tobias is like, "Oh, you went to Siberia, eh?"
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
excited
looking
about
like
it.
John Travolta. That's where he says it in Greece.
Yeah, another all minor Monopoly guy joke, but I'll,
Right,
I'll let it slide.
right. It's kind of fine though because it's already a funny joke just to put Axe in the jacket and have him stumble around, and he's been doing that for several minutes already, and I've been liking
Yeah,
it.
it's
It's
not as egregious.
yeah, it's almost more
Well,
just like you didn't need to call that out. It was
right.
already funny.
Well, no, I think the real problem is saying you look like John Travolta in Greece.
Mm,
Like that's not. You would just say you look like John Travolta, or it looks like you stepped
right.
right out of Greece. Like saying both just reeks of we need to make sure people understand this joke. It feels desperate. It feels false. Or you'd say you look like Danny, whatever his name is in that movie. you know,
I personally think Axe looks fly as hell here.
like if it
That's what I
was
think.
if Iron Man was quipping, he would just refer to him as he'd be like, "Hey, Grease Lightning, get over here."
Iron Man was quipping.
Iron Man will be like he
Right,
will like make fun of Thor, and he'll be like,
right,
"Hey, fucking Shakespeare in the Park," he calls him.
right.
Like he would call it Axe Grease
Sure.
Lightning, and that
Yeah,
would be
sure.
funny.
Yeah.
But Tobias like is just
Right,
goes too
sure, yeah.
far.
Right.
Yeah, I'm right.
Yeah,
You
right.
know I'm
No, I mean,
right.
I hear you. You're right.
Yeah.
Axe
Anyway,
is
first
here.
time use is 25% off. That's a special that you have. 25% off. What does that mean? Like, how do you pay for this? Is it like 25% off your first quarter you put into a machine? Do you pay for by the hour? 25% off what? 25% off drinks and beverages and food? What does that sign mean?
You do have a good point. That is a I don't quite know what that means at an arcade. Because this isn't a modern arcade where they can, you put it on a card and then you tap the card. They do have physical coins you would probably put in, you would expect.
But their games are also just computer monitors with a normal video game controller hooked up
Right.
to it. They do not actually have arcade cabinets.
No. Yeah, I don't know what the
And
fuck this I mean, maybe that's what you do. Maybe you go up to the counter and you pay for time on the computer, and they just put time on it or something.
maybe I mean, that's how a cyber cafe would work. You
Yeah,
would like pay for that much time on the
and
internet.
and this is sort of a cyber cafe, it's just that it's also an arcade.
Very, very confusing. Um, now I thought it looks like to me the guy is using a GameCube controller, but the GameCube did not come out for another couple of years, so I don't know what it is that
Hmm.
he's using.
I
However,
can't
he is still playing Beast Wars from the N64
Right, yes. I
or
can't tell, it's
PlayStation.
something purple is the controller here.
Yeah, it's definitely like there's what other controller is purple, and I'm pretty sure it has a big green button like the GameCube, but I mean, it doesn't seem right that they would have that 2 years in advance unless they did. It
Mmm.
doesn't
Conspiracy
seem right.
time.
Mandela, I don't know.
Could be, could be. Now, Axe does the classic, like, oh, is this a training program for human warriors and all that stuff? There is a part here though, because he's talking to this guy, and the guy does some objective, and he says, "I've annihilated their fighter base." And he says it kinda like that, and I'm listening to that line delivery, and I'm like, "Dude, you're talking more like an alien than Axe." Like, who's gonna, like, blow up the bad guy in the video game and be like, "Aha, I've annihilated their fighter base." Like, shut the fuck up.
I do that sometimes.
I don't know that you do.
This guy also looks like I mean, he is kind of a bully,
Yes.
but shouldn't he not be doing nerd shit? Like
Yeah,
what
this was the '90s. Bullies were it wasn't cool to do nerd shit back then.
yeah, right. If it was the 80s, like Karate Kid, there's a bully at the arcade.
Mhm.
In the late 90s, I don't think there is. He's playing
Yeah,
football.
right, or, like, outside smoking weed or something and skateboarding.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, the loser kids are also smoking weed and skateboarding.
Right, but they're in a different area, right? It's not the same type of that. It's a different
Yeah,
vibe.
yeah. I wouldn't know. I've never been a part of any of these groups. I'm a respected loner like Tobias,
Right, exactly.
who we cut back to after Axe is about to get his shit kicked in.
Right, yes, because Tobias cuts in for some reason, this triggers, I guess, a memory of Elfangor, because we cut from this Beast Wars arcade thing to Elfangor giving Tobias the Hirak disc.
Yeah, why? I don't know. I don't know.
It was an important memory, and this way Axe can see his brother and get shook.
And
And you
and
can
yeah.
remember the disc existed.
Yeah, which they go out of their way to replay him saying, "Here's the disc," and also Tobias saying, "How do you know my name?" Which I
Yeah.
couldn't remember. Does he say that in the first episode too?
I think so, yeah.
I think he does. So they clearly know about the Andalite Chronicles. They are
Yeah.
definitely leading up to that.
They're just, like, not allowed to actually do it yet. It's like somebody came and said, "Okay, we gotta have a Tobias centric episode because we haven't been showcasing him at all." Okay, well, which book can we do? Well, we've earmarked all those books. We're doing the Andalite Chronicles, we're doing the Change, we're doing that's season conclusion, or that's season 2, so you can't do any of that stuff. Oh,
Mhm.
okay. Uh
Yeah, they just allude to it, but then it doesn't
Right.
go anywhere in this episode.
Yeah. Although it
It's a
is
strange.
very funny to be reminded Elfangor just being like, "Tobias, protect this disc with your life. It's the most important thing, your heart and soul, Tobias." And then you're like, "Oh yeah," and then he immediately gave it to Jake, and then Jake immediately lost it, and then they never got it back and we never heard about it again, and it's just not important. He
Yeah,
did say that though, didn't he? That he was supposed to
yeah.
protect it with his heart and soul.
He was too busy being inspired by Elfangor.
Mm.
He says
Was
like
he?
Elfangor. Yeah, that's what he says to
Oh, right.
Axe. He says Elfangor like was so powerful and he inspired us all. And I'm like, did he in
Ah.
the 45 seconds you talked to him before he got eaten?
Yeah, I don't
Like,
know that I buy that in the I I kind of buy it in the books. In the books, they actually make that work, but here I don't know that I buy it.
Yeah, you don't Tobias.
Right. That's what I don't do.
Yeah. We should watch Arrested Development on the Patreon
So
because of Tobias.
we so we're
There aren't
back
that
in.
many Tobiases in media, you know? You ever notice that?
You're really doing your best to fill time here.
Yeah, because we're
You
almost done.
you're like trying to make a bad episode. We're not. We're halfway. We're not even halfway through.
I'm mostly checked out already.
Well, that's it's going to be a bad episode. And it's going to be because of you, is what it is. It's going to
eh,
be your fault because you're checking
they're
out
used to it.
early.
If they're not okay with bad episodes, then they're listening to the wrong podcast.
Listen, listen,
I'm
listen.
listening.
We're cutting
Please
back.
continue.
We're cutting back to the real world, right? Right. And
Yeah,
and then we're immediately cutting back to Tobias, his memories. So I
right.
don't know if you remember in the first set of episodes, there's like a bit where they're all morphing in the barn and Tobias disappears, and everyone's like, "Where did Tobias go?" So we get to see where he
Right.
went,
Yeah.
right? So he's out in the forest being like, "God, I can't fucking do this shit. This is so what the fuck? I ain't turning into animals, aliens. I don't want to do any of this." So this is also kind of relating to what I was saying earlier in the episode. This is like a dramatic shift from the books. It's like actually almost like an inversion of his character here. Because in the books he's by far the most gung ho about this. Like he's the one who's like, "We got to do it. I'm the first one to morph. I want to go out there and fight. You know, what are you going to do? Not fight? Don't you care about Elfangor? Don't you want to blah blah blah?" Whereas with here, he's just like, "Oh man, I don't want to do any of this." He's like the most reluctant in a way.
Mm.
Um,
The whole show has kind of painted him as this. Like early on, they thought,
mhm,
"Oh, is Tobias not coming back, or is he actually working for the Yerks or something? Like we don't trust him, maybe."
mhm.
So yeah, they've been doing that the whole show, which it doesn't
Yeah,
it doesn't feel wrong to me. I'm
yeah.
not
No,
watching
I
this
don't.
like, "Oh, this is not his character at all," or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it fits this different version of Tobias that they're doing better, right? Because now, in the books you kind of have like the reason he's so gung ho about it is because he has a completely shitty life. Everything's bad, and so now he sees this exciting way to like go out and do something and make a difference, have excitement, be an animal rather than this kid who he hates being, and he just immediately drops his old life to go and do it. And here, it's a lot more like, he is just like kind of angsty, teen who has trouble connecting with other people. So to me, it almost feels like part of the issue here is that, oh, there's this group of friends and they're all like, we're all going to get together to do something. And Tobias is like, I don't feel comfortable in a group of friends. So I'm just going to run away. I don't know about all this. I don't want to do, you know what I mean? Like it's not the kid with a shit life who is just running away because he's got nothing there. It's the kid with a decent life who's just having trouble coping with it all. Um,
Tobias is like, "That's too many friends. I'll stick with maybe just Joey to start. I'm
right.
not going to go in for all 6 or 7 of them,
I
however
mean,
many
if you were
there
gonna
are."
go for one, right?
Oh yeah. Well, he's a Shorm with Axe, so
Right.
he loves Joey.
Right, because they're real life brothers. Friends is real life.
Do
The
we
Joey Show is real life.
The question though is he supposed to have a decent life on this show?
Yeah, I don't know that he is. Maybe he's not, but like he comes across as that type. You know what I mean? Like maybe not a great life,
Mhm.
but it comes across more like his issues are more just stereotypical. I'm a teen who has trouble fitting in issues, and less like, oh, every like legit I'm fucked up and abused issues. Like,
Yeah. Well, I mean,
does it come across that he's being abused or neglected?
no, but I don't even think that stuff came across in the books until later. Um,
Hmm.
like I think you can read it's implied a little bit if you know about that, but I feel like they didn't really. Even
Mm.
by the end, the most you get in the books is like his uncle was drunk. You don't really delve into his home life that much. I think just by virtue of the fact that his aunt lives with him for the 90s kids show, just the fact that it's not like a nuclear family with a mom and dad is like the indication that his home is broken.
I mean, though, like you know, not that much about it, but when they introduce Tobias in the first book, they do say that he's just kind of passed around between his family members, and Jake gets the sense they don't really care about him. Like that is a thing, and I don't get
Right.
that sense here. I mean, I guess if you're gonna say like, well, anything other than the nuclear family is supposed to represent it's bad, but I don't pick up on that.
Well,
So,
that's what I'm wondering. Like, I think maybe the show is like we're not seeing that because now it's like who gives a shit, but for their
mhm.
audience and their time period, they were like, this is how we really. Oh man, not a mom. Holy shit, this kid is fucked. You
Yeah, I
know.
guess sure.
Yeah, you do. I mean, you do certainly get the sense like he becomes a hawk and his family doesn't give a shit about him. Or at least
Mhm.
we even, I mean, in the show or the book, we never get any indication that they've asked or tried to find out where he is.
No.
It's actually weirder in the show because in the book, as you said, they point out like, oh, he could be staying with his other. He like goes between houses, and
Yeah.
here he probably just has one. So why aren't they looking for him?
Yeah, no, and and again, like just the fact that like the only interaction we have with his aunt whatsoever is her making sure he's getting up on time and checking to see if he's comfortable, and that's all we get. We don't even get like, "Oh, where's my aunt? She's not even here." Kind of thing. Like, no,
Hmm.
she's like checking in. It is kind of weird that she wouldn't be like, Tobias isn't here. Did he go? I should call up the uncle and see if he's with or him or something.
Yeah,
I don't it
yeah,
doesn't like, that's not to say that she couldn't still be, abusing him, but, like, they don't show any evidence of that.
right. But I mean, also, what can they show on a kids show? Like,
Right.
what's realistically the farthest they can go is
I mean, but, like, literally all they have to do is just, like, have her not say shit. Like, he could make the place just a little bit not
yeah.
so nice, have him get up and kinda look around, maybe call out, like, "Aunt Mary, you here?" "No," and then leave, and that'd be
That
I
might
would get
just
it. I'd be
be
like, "I see, she's not even here to for his first day of school." Right, I'd
even
get that.
that might be too much for Nickelodeon. Like they do not want to show you a sad family.
Well, they didn't necessarily pick the right book series then here.
No, well, that could be said for a few different reasons. But this is
Uh,
definitely, I think that jacket Tobias is wearing in this scene is the Axe jacket.
yeah. Oh, so that's kinda like I guess that's the
That's the
kinda
link. That's
yeah,
the,
that's what ties all these stories together.
would you say that's the thematic thread?
I would say that kinda like when you're, putting a jacket, together, and when you wanna hold the pieces, you use a thread, and so thematically, this is also the thread, and it's a jacket. So it's kinda like that.
You ever hear that Weezer song?
That Weezer song.
Yeah. Pork and Beans.
I have heard of that one.
That's fun.
This I guess this episode really is the jacket episode. It's more it's like a secret little storyline within it, you know?
Yeah, it's the adventures of this jacket. That's how we're linked from one memory to the next.
The Adventures of Jacket.
Well, it is weird Tobias is wearing a button-down shirt that looks like a
Yeah.
generic work shirt with a leather jacket over it. It's a strange outfit, I don't know.
It is odd. That is the kind of shirt I might wear. Not the
Is
jacket,
it?
but the shirt. I have a couple shirts like that.
Okay. But why isn't he wearing just a fucking t-shirt or something? It's such a
He's got a
strange.
t-shirt under it. It's cold, I guess, in Canada. You gotta
Yeah.
have sleeves.
Yeah, I guess. I don't
Uh
know.
so he's over in Siberia and he's having a whole meltdown.
Oh, we're going back to. Oh no, Tobias goes to
Yeah,
Siberia.
Tobias goes to Siberia.
Oh,
Did you
oh, oh,
somehow miss
oh
the
yeah,
most
yeah, yeah.
insane part of this entire episode?
No, I was just still watching the part with him in the woods.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean,
I'm just a little behind. That's all.
he's just kind of wandering around having a crisis.
Yeah, yeah. He
Um,
does also go to Siberia. It was kind of stupid that they both do. Like, why?
Yeah, well, you know what happens to him here in Siberia
Mhm. Yeah,
is
go ahead.
there's a fucking I don't think I'm allowed to say the actual name of the trope,
Right.
but there's
I
a
think I
fucking
think you could,
I
but
think
I
I
don't know if
could.
we should.
There's a fucking magical black guy who shows up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying. You know the
Yeah.
actual name of the trope. But I'm like,
Yes.
not even goddamn kidding. Like he's sitting there like I'm having oh, I don't know what to do. And some old black guy shows up and is like, "Hey kid, you having trouble here?" And just starts fucking speaking in platitudes and like riddle and being like, "Oh, that's interesting, but you know what they say." It's fucking insane. And it's clear from the dialogue that Tobias has never met this man before in his life. Like, we don't know who this guy is. He just, like, what the The whole time, I'm just like, I can't. Why is this happening? Who decided this was a good idea? What the, like, this is, I kind of like it for how goddamn audacious it is. Like, holy shit.
The 90s were a different
They
time.
sure were. How
Uh,
do you even come up with this? Right? You're writing this. You have Tobias. I've written this Tobias character. I've given him these motivations. I have these other characters. And right now, he doesn't want to join the group, but he's got to have a revelation to come back and join the group. How is he going to do that? How do I weave these plot threads together? I know. I know. A wise old black man will approach him and teach him about how important it is to have friends and join forces so that you're not all alone.
this
Like,
is what
what?
writers refer to as a shortcut. You need this character to learn a lesson. He doesn't have any friends. I mean, I guess this could have been an Animorph that spoke to him. But no, it's well here. Okay, so this guy, his name is Fred.
Yes. This is Jeff
His name is
Jones.
Fred, played by Jeff Jones, not Jeffrey Jones.
Right.
And I have to imagine this guy is just this man who looks like he must be in his 50s, perhaps older,
Yeah.
is just hanging out at the
Right.
children's internet cafe.
Yeah. He sees a kid on his own looking like he's in trouble. He's upset and he goes, "That's the one. I'm going to go sidle on up to this kid and talk to him about his problems."
It
Nobody else
feels
around? Nobody over there? Nobody? All right. All right. Yeah.
it's extremely predator coded.
It really is.
Here's my theory.
Mhm.
I think that Fred is a chi.
Mm.
And in fact, I think maybe he's Mr. King.
Holy shit.
Because that's the only explanation I have. Why is he following this kid around? Why does he show up at the right moment with this wisdom about whatever?
I mean that's why I was saying this guy might be an Ellimist, because at the end of the conversation,
Oh, you
Tobias
think he's
is
an
just straight like,
Ellimist.
and then he disappeared, and then he just wasn't there
Right.
anymore.
Right. I think because he turned into a table. He projected
Right,
a
that
table
could
or
be,
something.
could be.
Because why the Ellimist? What's the Ellimist doing this? That's not.
Yeah,
Doesn't he have better shit to do?
yeah. I mean, I guess I just went there because I was like, Tobias is supposed to use the Ellimist to turn back to a boy, right?
Right. Yeah. True. True. Yeah. But we have no indication from our sole Ellimist appearance that in this show he can change form, or we don't know what
Yeah,
the fuck he can actually do besides
this
show
Ellimist
them.
sucks.
Yeah, this Ellimist sucks.
I really do just almost want you to. I wish you could just, and maybe you will, just put like the whole fucking dialogue between Tobias and this guy, because, like, I really just, the whole time
Maybe
they
I
were
will.
talking, I'm just like, I cannot believe this is happening. Like, who did this?
Things just seem to happen to me anyway.
That's so.
Yeah,
I always say things happen.
I know. You know, things happen for a reason, right?
Right. Except for one. Things don't happen because of some mystical force you think is out to get you.
You'd be surprised.
I'm saying these things that just happened to you, stand up to them. Make them a challenge. Show them that you're not gonna let them get the best of you. If you don't, you just end up coming back here every time. feeling sorry for yourself. But if you do, you just might find the answer to that question.
Well, what question?
Why me?
Thanks.
Fred. And don't mention it.
Well, one of the things that he does say, this is a quote, he
Mhm.
says, I always say things happen.
That is what he says. I
And
I
then
have
and
that
then
written down.
there's a clear, like, that's the end of the sentence, period. I always say things happen. And Tobias goes, for a reason, right? Or something like that. Things always happen for a reason. And the guy just goes along with it. But I'm like, no, I think he was just
No,
saying things
that's
happen.
No, yeah, very clearly he was just saying things happen.
But he doesn't. I thought then he was going to go, no, things just happened. It was going to be some, but no,
Yeah.
they don't. They
He
don't
just
go
kind of
back to
goes
that.
along.
Yeah, it's just
It's
whatever. I don't know.
I just can't like
It's ridiculous.
the
It's
scene is
extremely
absurd.
ridiculous. It is. It is very, very silly. I
I
think he's a
really was losing
chi.
my mind. I couldn't.
But I like Fred. I think he is a good character.
He's a good character.
Yeah, Fred
How
is on
so?
screen.
Justify that.
Well, I feel I'm happier watching Fred than I am Rachel, for instance. I would be. I think I might be more invested in a Fred Tobias romance than Rachel Tobias.
Yeah, well,
It's more complicated, a little bolder,
uh-huh. Right. Yeah, for sure. That's a little controversial.
taking some risks.
Right.
Kind of a call me by your name scenario.
Sort of, in a way. In a way.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my
I like Fred.
God.
I like Fred. I think he's one of my top Animorphs characters.
Top Animorphs characters, Fred.
Yeah. Number 1 is Toby, and I mean Tobias.
Hmm.
And number 2 is Fred.
Yeah, makes sense. I get it.
Number 3, of course, the cab driver.
And number 4, there might be more episodes of the show, but it seems like maybe you don't remember them.
It is really ridiculous. I mean, they really do just lean. It feels like a parody. It feels like
does.
a satire of these types of scenes. It's almost impossible to believe that they did this earnestly without
Yeah.
realizing what they were doing.
Yeah, like that's kind of why I was like, I wish you could just like fucking hear the audio, because you imagine in your head that maybe it's not that egregious. Maybe there's just a guy sitting there and they have a conversation. No, it's so insane.
And like you said, he disappears. He is literally seemingly magical.
Yes, he is. He shows up out of nowhere. He's like, Tobias is saying like, oh, well, I gotta save the world. And the guy's like, oh, so you're the one, huh, ha, ha. And like, you could sort of take it as though maybe he's just playing along with this kid with this delusion, but maybe he secretly actually knows, like it's so,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
It's yes, it's very on the nose.
Yeah.
Maybe he is an elemist. Maybe you're right.
I
How?
kind of like the chi idea just because I want some chi, and I don't like this show's elemist.
Yeah, I like she better, and I think it works better. But it could be one or the other.
Hmm.
Maybe it's Marco's mom. Maybe that's Herb Alpert or whatever that guy's name is. Visser 3's brother.
Is that Joe Bob Finestra?
Oh right, who's Herb? Isn't there like a Herb?
A herb.
Isn't there
Probably is a
a
herb.
Herb character? Seropedia, help! Seropedia, who is a Herb?
Go search herb on Seropedia, yeah.
Did I just make this name up? What's wrong with me?
Herb Albert.
Why did I say that? Am I
Well,
dying?
Listeners, if you know who Herb Albert is, write into us, yerkyboys
There's
at
no-
gmail.com.
There's no result for Herb on Seropedia. I'm losing my fucking mind. Why did I think that was his name? Herb is the name of Homer's brother on The Simpsons. So maybe I just thought, oh, it's a brother character, and the first thing that came to my head was The Simpsons.
That could be. That would make some sense.
I mean, my brain is beyond repair.
I think we're both alike in that way.
Let me say this. Tobias, Christopher Ralph, that is, kind of got a Keanu vibe.
Yeah,
Very
I
much
see it.
so.
I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the leather jacket helps, but the hair, the face.
Mhm.
I was wondering is he Hawaiian? Because he kind of looks like him.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, could be. Could be.
Just wondering.
Well, Tobias goes
Anyway.
back to the forest. He does
Right.
some like bird hand morphing.
Reminder, this all happened during the events of episode 1.
Yes, yeah,
Or
this is
2,
all
episode
flashback
2.
still.
Yes, this is where Tobias was. So if you wanted to, you could do the fan edit
Oh.
where, yeah, you go back and Rachel and them are like, where'd Tobias go? And then you watch this scene. The extended cut.
And then you
I mean, it might be good, honestly. It might be
It might
good that
be.
way.
It might be. Honestly, if after the first time we saw Axe, I got Axe's storyline here, I probably would have been way more into it, honestly. I'd have been like, hell yes, we got Axe now, baby.
Yeah. So Tobias does his first morph into a hawk, and maybe his last. Is this it for him for the rest of the series? Is he a
No,
hawk? I
no,
don't
because
know.
he doesn't get stuck until like the episode
Oh,
after
yeah.
the first thing they do.
You're right. He doesn't
Um,
actually fully morph here.
Yeah. We do get to see him morph his hands. We get to see him morph his head. We get to see, Tobias is always screaming in the background, right? He's making his squawks.
Yeah.
We get a good head-on shot of the bird actually making the squawks, and he looks very silly opening his mouth like that.
Yeah,
He's like,
once
"Wah!"
Tobias gets into hawk morph, his first instinct is to squawk.
Yeah. That's him. And then he flies off and enjoys being a bird, and that's when we
This
get
is the encounter.
a song.
We also get a song. Don't you think this part of the episode is the encounter?
The
Like
the
they
part-
just condensed the ideas of that book into these like just 2-minute sequence.
like the part where he goes and lives as a bird for several
Yeah.
weeks, and like when he tries to kill himself, and
Yeah.
like
All
when
that's
there's
in
that
here.
giant alien spaceship that's sucking up the water from the
Right.
dam, and
Right,
when
all
all the
that stuff.
Animorphs get almost trapped in half wolf, half human morph.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
they turn
yeah.
into trouts, and Tobias has to dogfight
Right.
a bug fighter as a hawk, and he like shoots the Taxon pilot with a Dracon beam,
Yes.
and Price Cup Holly dies.
Yeah, all that happens here.
Okay, that makes sense.
Thematically.
Right. Well, there's a song that'll tell you all the themes.
The song that plays
Mm-hmm.
during this scene is by the musician Poe.
Mm-hmm.
The name of the song is Fly Away. Lyrics are if you thought the last scene was on the nose. As he's flying, you hear this song. Fly away, sweet bird of prey. Fly away. Nothing can stand in your way. Sweet bird, if you knew the words.
If you knew the words,
I know that you'd say, fly away.
This fucking song.
Now, Poe is not Canadian. She is an American singer.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to some of her other songs because, according to Wikipedia, she had songs people knew.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know any of them. If you told me this was another Eden White song, I'd believe you because it sounds the same.
Yeah.
It's just another, white woman with a piano.
Mm-hmm. There's a fucking flute part too, which I was loving when it came in.
Apparently in 1996, the New York Times named Poe, along with Alanis Morissette, among the defining voices of the current movement in music.
Yeah, if I had to pick two female singers from the 90s, it'd be Alanis Morissette and Poe.
Who are your top 5 Poes? Because I have a list.
Listen, I love Edgar Allan. I can't,
Uh-huh.
like, you can't get around loving that.
Sure.
I'm not gonna
So
be able to do 5 of these.
that's 2. Yeah, well, I have
Because
for
there's
me,
Star
number
Wars,
5.
obviously.
Oh, you know what? I might have a top 6.
Oh, shit.
All right, number 6 is ranking all Poes. Number 6 is Poe, the singer.
Mhm.
Uh, number 5, I think, is Edgar Allan.
Mm. He's gotta be higher for me.
Yeah, I think he's fine. Number 4 is Poe Dameron.
Right.
Number 3 is maybe I only had 5.
Uh-oh.
Well, number 3 I think is Poe from Teletubbies.
Right, I was thinking about that Poe.
You got to have that Poe in
So
there.
that Poe is above both Edgar Allan and, Poe Dameron.
Yes.
Okay.
He's more iconic, I think.
Okay.
Number 2, Poe. I don't know, who would you put there?
You've run me out of Poes.
Because I know who my number 1 is. Why did I thought I had 5 before, but then you said Poe Dameron. But now I can't remember who my other 5th was.
What about, Potatoes?
Okay, that's pretty good. That's really good. But my number 1, of course, is Poe, the ghost-like enemy from the Legend of Zelda series.
I'm not a gamer, so I don't know about that one.
Yeah, Poes. You can catch them in bottles. There's the Poe sisters in the Forest Temple. They hang out in graveyards. They have lanterns. They make these little laughs that go, kind of like that. So there are a lot of good Poes out there. Dishonorable mention to the Poe. That
Oh,
one
what about
Poe is
Mr.
good.
Popo, though?
Oh, that reminds me who my other I forgot about Mr. Popo. My other Poe. My number 2 is Mr. Poe from the Lemony Snicket series of unfortunate events books. There's a character named Mr. Poe.
Okay, good. I'm glad you remembered. Everyone was wondering. So that's your number
Yeah.
2, I guess.
That's my number 2, yeah. Mr. Popo gets honorable mention. The Popo get dishonorable mention. So there it is, all Poes ranked.
How often do you think we're gonna get, like, a song? Because I never would have guessed that we'd have gotten more than one of these, like, per season. And now we're on, what, our 4th one?
Yeah.
And by 3
Yeah,
different artists?
Yeah.
Like,
I think that's right.
is this to be a regular event now?
I mean, it's not that that's not that unusual for regular TV, right? You often have shows where, like, once an episode, you'll have a little song montage.
I guess,
It
but isn't
happens.
aren't they usually, like, I don't know, more generic, or like you've heard this song before? Like, I got the rights to a song you kinda know, or am I being silly there? I don't.
I mean, sometimes I think it depends. They often aren't literally describing what you're seeing on screen.
I'll tell you something else. Goosebumps never did this shit. Maybe they did.
Yeah. No, probably not. Well, I really do think they are kind of trying to be like the Dawson's Creek for kids in a way. Like they're trying to give you that energy of there's some teen angst and romance amongst these kids in high school or whatever the fuck grade they're supposed to be in. I don't know. In addition to the aliens and Animorphs, which is not inappropriate. I don't think
that should be a focus of the show. I think that is its strength. But yeah, I don't know. Listen, the songs are, every time I hear them, they just kill me. I love them. It makes me happy. But not necessarily is it good.
Also worth noting, this is, and I could be wrong about this one too, I think this is the first time on the show they've used the word thermals.
Oh shit! When did they say thermals? Somehow I
In this
missed
scene,
it.
Tobias is narrating, and he talks about how easily he lifted away and flew on the thermals.
Wow! Oh man, my favorite
Yeah.
episode now. Thermals.
Yeah, you get to see his little. You okay over there?
Yeah. Sorry, I just I got choked up a little bit.
You get to see his. I like when you see him swooping down and his little hawk legs are dangling in the air like little noodles. It's funny.
I mean, he's still got his little straps, so
Yeah, of course, he's got to be safe.
right.
Cut, cut to back to a human, still in the flashback mode. Don't
Yes.
these kids, by the way, do not have fucking backpacks? They're
No.
walking around, not in school,
Yeah,
with their textbooks and
carrying their
binders.
books under their arms. What the fuck? Is this how they do it in Canada?
That is bizarre. I don't know. That must be a props thing. It's like better
Yeah.
for the actors to have something to work with. But
We couldn't afford backpacks for the props department, so we just reused the books.
he's wearing a different shirt, by the way. He's now wearing just like a black T-shirt, not the weird button down.
So he morphed one shirt into another, I guess.
Or maybe the T-shirt was under the button down. And
No,
he took it
under
off.
the button down was a different shade. It was like a dark green.
So that's who knows. I don't like this scene. This is my least favorite scene. Tobias and Rachel are joking around with each other, and it's very cheesy and dumb.
Yeah. No, I was thinking like, oh, maybe this is the scene, after, because there's a scene where they're talking with each other in one of the early episodes where and that's the one where Sarah snaps a picture of Tobias that doesn't really get used effectively as like a thing. And I was like, oh, maybe this is that scene, but it feels like it's somehow not, like it's a different one, because that doesn't happen here, and we see like the beginning and ending of it. But yeah, I mean, this is basically just here so that Tobias can be like, oh, I thought I was the only one having doubts. And Rachel's like, no, Tobias, we all have doubts. You're normal. Which I guess is like a standard angst teenage storyline. Uh, you're talking about Tobias's shirt change. Can I ask, at the beginning of this scene, Rachel's hair looks like shit. Like, what happened to it? Like, like, go back, just like watch her walk up and look, it's a disaster. Like, was she standing in a wind machine? What happened here?
Well, okay, I'm gonna try to find it now. Maybe she just morphed out of a lion, and she was running, and then her hair. Well, she is running at the beginning of this scene. She runs up to
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, but
It looks. I don't. It looks fine to me. I don't really.
it doesn't. But if you go before the like the opening, and like practically any shot before they do the flashbacks to them morphing in the barn, it's just it's messy.
Like it is a little mess. I think she was just running. I think she was just running, and her hair
Right,
got
sure,
messed
but
up.
like, okay, she's running and her hair got messed up, and they weren't like, oh, let's fix that. It looks messy. It doesn't look good.
It's
not
well, she
proper.
just stopped. Her hair would have still been messy.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
realistic.
clearly between this take and the later take, she
fix
like
it.
combed it out. You can see. So like,
Yeah.
why didn't they just do this take again where her hair didn't get blown as a disaster? It
Because
doesn't look good.
that's what happens.
Rachel's fashionable. She's supposed to be the one going through the mud and still looking great.
Right.
It's not good.
Right. I mean, for Rachel's character, I suppose you have sort of a point, although I don't know. This like that's what you focus on, and Daniel Craig, nothing for you in The Invasion. This to you is the egregious hair. We don't need to go back to that.
Listen, this hair. I mean, this hair is not. The problem is that this isn't intentional, right? Like this isn't a style, right? This just got like that. And there's also the TV problem, right? Like this is TV, so I don't expect your hair to be realistically messy after you were running around and getting blown in the wind, right? I expect that to not affect it.
Oh, I don't. Come on, don't talk about getting blown in the wind.
Excuse you?
It's a kids show.
Jesus.
You're the one who said that.
You just need to keep yourself under control a little bit here.
I might not be able to. Okay, anyway, I don't know. They make a bunch of dumb jokes. We do get to actually see the other Animorphs, however, in this scene. I forgot.
Oh, right. Yes, we get a little couple of clips
There's a
of their faces
flashback
morphing.
within a flashback.
Yes, so you know what Jake is in this episode, right? Yes.
Yeah.
And Marco, they're all here. You can't say they're not here.
Legally, contractually, they are here. for 5 seconds. Rachel has a. By the way, I saw a kid in the background with a backpack on. So
So they do have backpacks in Canada and on this
something
set.
is wrong. These two kids are just strange.
Yeah. They morphed and lost their backpack.
That could be it. I don't know.
Yeah, not
I
much
don't
with this
know.
scene, but we could go back to Axe, which is where the fun stuff is.
Well, yeah, well, Rachel has a weird line at the
Mm.
end of this scene that we should talk about, where they're talking about how being Animorphs and how weird it is, and she's like, maybe this didn't just happen. Like maybe we were chosen for a reason. She sort of says that,
Yeah, she does sort of say that.
which is something that I feel like was kind of hinted at in the books, but never really amounted to anything. I feel like there was this idea that, oh, Elfangor or the Elemist or somebody specifically handpicked these
Yeah.
kids. But other than Tobias, it's not really relevant.
Yeah, no, it is. It is like the Elemist does say I picked most of you for a reason. And it's like, okay, I get it. Jake is like a leader type. Marco has a connection to his mom. Tobias has a connection to whatever. She tries to do that weird thing with Cassie being whatever she is with timelines, which is stupid. She could just be the animal person. And then Rachel wasn't intentionally picked. And she just happened to be there. She was the Droid. She was the wild card. I don't know. They do say that, but yeah, as you said, it doesn't really. It's not that much.
I wonder, did they think that would mean something when they were writing the show, or was this just a line for a character to say?
Yeah, I don't know. And they do, like Rachel. Tobias asks her. He's like, "Well, what's your reason?" And she's like, "Just to make a little bit of difference." And I don't know. That felt stupid to me. I didn't like that. It felt like they were pushing harder on that line, but didn't have anywhere to go with it.
Yeah, I don't know. Look, these kids are cute together. That's all that matters.
Sure, why not?
Look at those little lovebirds.
I get it because of the birds.
Yeah.
Does Rachel
Rachel's house is
do
nice.
anything other than flirt with boys? Like she flirts with Tobias in the scene she's with him. She flirts with Jake in the scene she's with him. She flirts with Marco in the scene she's with him. And she doesn't like she flirts with Cassie in the scenes she's with her.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a girl. She flirts with girls too.
And then like
Equal
what are
opportunity.
her other character traits?
She likes gymnastics.
Right. Oh yes, that's right. She likes gymnastics.
Yeah. What's the problem?
Well, I want to talk about Axe again. I'm sick of this Tobias shit.
So does Tobias. He's like, hey, Axe, let's talk about you now. I'm like, my shit's kind of weird.
Yeah, I'm done with it.
I don't want to show you what happened right
What
after
happens
this.
next. Yeah.
After I found out Rachel's address, that part is just for me.
That's private stuff. Yeah, so back to Axe. We cut, as you might remember, Axe was annoying some bully types at the arcade, so we cut to him getting tossed out the back into the dumpster.
I'm going to admit, I did not remember. The end of that scene is so innocuous seeming to me. Axe is just like annoying a guy and the guy looks at him. And then it's like 10 minutes later, I forgot that happened. And now he's in a pile of garbage. And I'm like, wait, did they like get in a fight? I actually didn't remember what was happening.
The guy was just sick of Axe's shit.
So he
and
like
his buddies
dragged
throw
him
out. Yeah.
all the way through the mall, like to the outside and threw him in trash.
This is what it was like in the 90s. Listen,
Yeah.
Axe just thought that was normal. He's like, oh, didn't that happen to everybody?
Right. These kids look kind of cool.
Yeah, sure, why not? And the cab driver, of course, immediately pulls up because he's just waiting out by the dumpster. I don't know
So now here's-
who he's waiting for out here, but
Here's my theory.
yeah.
The cab driver is also a chi.
Every time we see an actor playing some random named character we don't recognize, we'll be like, yeah, that's a chi.
Yeah, that's a
That's
chi
Chi
helping
Fred.
out.
That's chi cab driver. That's
They could all
Chi
be
Gerald.
Eric. Yeah. I don't know. I think maybe when we get to the Eric episode eventually, we're gonna see flashbacks and he's gonna reveal it was me all along. It's all connected.
I would love that.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool. You can't disprove it.
I can't disprove it, so it must. Listen, if there's one thing I learned from Invaders from Mars, it must be true. I can't disprove
Exactly.
that dogs are actually the attached souls of an ancient advanced alien race that also made robots that live among us.
Right. So then the rest of this episode, the axe plot in this episode, it's just pure filler. Like,
But are you telling me you don't fucking love it?
I like it, but it is notable that they made not even the smallest attempt to tie it into Tobias's storyline or give Axe some kind of a lesson learned. Like, it's just nothing.
Yeah, no, it's just Axe being goofy and having fun. I mean, here's the problem is that like they try to give the Tobias stuff a lesson learned, and I'm just over here like I don't really care about the lesson learned. It's not very good. I don't like. Sure, I guess why not? You gave him a character point. I'm more just like, yeah, I got to see Tobias as a human. That's kind of fun. I got the fucking magical black guy. I can't believe you did that. I'm enjoying that. There's this goddamn Bird of Prey song. You know what? I kind of enjoy all that stuff, but I don't enjoy the actual writing. And then we go to the Axe plot, and it's not tied into anything, and there's no arc, and there's no lesson, and I'm loving every second of it, because Axe is stumbling around being a goofball in the leather jacket.
Now, it is interesting. I feel like when we first met Axe,
Mhm.
I was loving all his funny scenes with Marco's dad and Jake and eating and everything, and you were not as into them at the time, I recall.
Mhm.
Has
just
something
wasn't-
changed?
I feel like it wasn't at the time it just wasn't enough, you know? Like when he's stumbling around being awkward, like I feel it. Like I feel like a lot of my complaints were more just like he doesn't eat messy enough, you know? And here it's like he sure does talk awkward enough and stumble awkward enough. Like he's a weirdo, and I'm getting that, you know?
I think maybe if you went back, you'd appreciate those scenes more.
Maybe. I don't know.
I think you just didn't recognize what you had at the time. You didn't appreciate
Maybe
Paolo.
it was just not enough Axe. Because, like, in those scenes, it's like, here, you get a little couple second showcase of Axe being silly, and then we move on. And here, it's Axe's day off. Half the episode is just Axe's day off. Axe's day out, whatever.
Yeah.
He's out with the droid.
Right.
He and the droid, they're hanging out.
Right.
They're having fun.
Well, he ends up at the park at an ice cream stand, which with a tropical umbrella. What the fuck kind of ice cream stand is this? First of all, I've never seen an ice cream stand just in a park. Again, this is not New York City. It's not LA. It's not like a major hub. It's just like a random fucking park in a
This
suburb
is the suburban
town.
90s, back when people used to go outside. You know, this
guess.
is not like, you know, it's not like a food truck. This is like anybody could have set this stand up here. This is nothing.
But also, ice cream trucks existed, and I
Yeah.
think were more common than
Sure.
an umbrella cart with one person with little cones and
Sure.
scooping ice cream. By the way, she doesn't even ask, like, she seems to only have one flavor. Like, are there options? Is there a menu?
Well, she
It's
also
very-
gives it to him for free because he's so cute.
She does. Terrible business sense. In the 90s, you could do that and survive.
Well, she probably doesn't own the thing. You know, somebody else, like, you know,
Right.
technically owns it. Like one guy who lives in a house down the street, and he hired her to scoop the ice cream.
Well, she does then take a little tablet out and say, now they're just going to ask you a quick question on the screen there.
Right. Now, can I just say, though,
Yeah.
give Axe a girlfriend.
Hmm.
That's what I want. I fucking love this lady flirting with him, being like, "Oh, I'm gonna give you all the extra ice cream because you're so cute." And Tobias is like, "Axe, you could have got her phone number." And I'm just like, "Yeah, man, give Axe a fucking girlfriend. That's what I want." Like, do you remember in book 29 when they were at the dance and there was some chick flirting with Axe at their high school dance? And Marco was like, "She wants your body." And Axe thought it was like in a yerk way. And he was like, "She cannot have my body. Body. D." Like, that's what I want. Give me that.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
good. This is good.
Tobias is acting as his wingman in this scene.
Yeah, and that he has wings.
Hmm?
Because
I
he's,
said what I said.
I mean,
I
he's
think
not
I think
there,
I said enough.
really,
I said enough.
I guess.
I will agree with you to an extent. I think I take issue with your phrasing of it. I would say I want Axe to have a partner. They don't have to be a girl. They could be any gender
Sure.
or, a gender, whatever. Like that's just how I see things. I see the world in a
Well,
slightly
here's the
less
problem.
rigid
Every
way than you.
fanfic I ever read where Axe
Hmm.
got a girlfriend, it was always a girlfriend. I never read a fanfic where Axe
Every
got a
You
human
never read
boyfriend.
one where he got a girlfriend where it was a boyfriend? All the ones you read where he got a girlfriend was a girlfriend?
Listen, the fan fiction that I read, it was
Mhm.
all chicks who wanted to
Yeah.
date Axe. I just think
Right,
he's a
right.
chick magnet, you know? And this
I
is the 90s, so like he might be a
Yeah.
dude magnet, but they might be, it's like you kind of keep that under wraps. It's not, this isn't a modern Animorphs. They're kind of like, "Oh, I don't know if I can what if we get beat up, you know?"
Well, this is our first indication on the show that Axe may be disturbingly handsome.
Right.
No other character has ever shown any kind of interest in him in this way, except for Cassie in this earlier scene.
Yeah. And maybe Rachel a little bit.
And now we must assume that this ice cream girl is Jennifer Podemski playing Samantha.
We must. That's what I'm assuming.
She does not say her name is Samantha. I don't know why she has a name instead of just, ice cream girl.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe she comes back. Maybe she will recur.
Maybe this is Axe's girlfriend.
Now, she is in some shows that I like. She's in 3 episodes of Reservation Dogs, which is a great series on FX that I recommend people check out. And just from a couple years ago, that's a very recent show. She's also in a couple episodes of Resident Alien.
Do you recognize the characters that she like when you look this up and you see she was on 3 episodes? Do you know who she played, or you just
I
like she was on it?
remember. Yeah, I remember. It is it's not a recurring. She's only in 3 episodes, but she is an important character to one of the main characters. So I do kind of remember, although it's not like, this was 20 years later, so I wasn't like, oh, that's her. I recognize her.
Okay, I was gonna say, so in theory, you could match the face and know for sure if this was her, but maybe not.
Yeah, if I were to watch those episodes again, I think I would definitely be like, oh yeah, there she is.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay.
but that's a pretty good for background Animorphs actors. That's pretty good. That's a great show. Anyway,
I did cry a little bit when Axe drops his ice cream.
I did not like that. I wrote, "What the fuck, Axe?"
Well, he doesn't. This is before he started eating human food. He doesn't know about it yet. It's his first day, so he doesn't know what to do with it.
Well, once again, the question is, wouldn't you have the instinct of just eating something with your mouth? But it is funny. He tries to eat the ice cream with his sneaker.
Yes. That is
Um,
funny.
Now, I don't think on this show they have ever established that that's how Andalites eat.
That's true. So if you don't know the books, you're just like, why is he rubbing the ice cream on his shoe?
I guess you don't need to know, because he tries to use his face too. So I guess it's
Yeah.
just, he just is stupid.
He's just a fucking weirdo. He doesn't know. Yeah.
And then he just throws the ice cream down. We don't get to see his first eating and going crazy. We don't get to see, he still has not
Yeah.
eaten a cinnamon bun.
That's true.
What the
Where's
hell?
the cinnamon buns? I would have liked to see eating that ice cream, but also just seeing dropped ice cream is very sad. I want some ice cream.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't
you
want it
know
on the
what's
ground.
interesting
Yeah.
about the ice cream?
Mm-hmm.
There's a good chance, this is a little behind the scenes,
Whoa.
a little tidbit. People might not know this, but there's a pretty good chance that is actually mashed potatoes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
That's how, because that way it won't melt under the hot lights.
Oh, interesting.
Mhm.
You learn something new every day.
Yeah.
Well, you learn something every day.
Up until this point, Axe has never demorphed. It has definitely been over 2 hours since he left. Just going to point that out.
It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. He does see a dog here named Sugar. who he,
Mhm.
I guess, acquires in morphs, and that's how he runs home from the park.
Yes, we have the show is consistent in its belief that dogs are basically cars.
I
That if
mean,
you want to get somewhere, turn into a dog and you can just run there.
dogs do have a lot of stamina, and they are pretty fast. They
I
sure can
don't
cover ground.
I don't feel like that's if I'm like, oh, I gotta walk home 2 miles. I don't know that I feel that a dog is gonna have. Oh, I wish I were a dog. Oh man, if only I were a dog, this hike would be much easier. It's just not something I think.
Well, humans
Like I
and
can understand
dogs
like a
have in
horse.
common that we're good distance movers, but
It's not a cheetah. It's not a
a cheetah would be
leopard.
terrible at that.
Okay, there's whatever. Fuck you. I don't care. It's not a horse. A horse would make sense. A bird? He can turn into fucking birds. He doesn't
Can't
have a.
yet. This is his first day.
Oh, for Christ's sakes! You have a coffet bird.
If
Fuck
you
you.
want to cover distance over like long distances, like
Dogs.
y-
That's the way to go.
wolves,
Dogs.
humans, these are some top tier morphs.
Dog. No, dog is number
Well,
one.
you don't have a wolf. And the human he morphed is all out of shape and skinny because it's a modern lazy human. Or dogs are always running around and playing.
Yeah, that's how I would describe Axe's actor: out of shape and skinny.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, then there's this last little scene with Tobias and Axe, which once again, a lot of horny energy in this episode. I mean, we just had him with the ice cream girl, and it really feels like in this moment that they're about to kiss. It just does.
Wait, Axe and Tobias?
Yeah, I think I'm like kiss. Their faces are so close to each other.
Is this
They're like
Axe and
leaning right in.
Tobias's residual self-image thing?
Yeah,
I didn't get that impression.
Tobias is like leaning forward. Their chests are practically touching as Tobias in boy form pets himself in hawk form on Axe's arm.
Well, see, that's the problem, is that you're just like, oh, they're in proximity. They must be wanting to kiss. But no, Tobias is looking at himself, right? He's not like lovingly staring into Axe's eyes, right? He's lovingly staring at that bird.
No, I think this is homophobia on your part
I
that
don't
you
think it
refuse
is.
to see that two men could love each other in that way.
I don't think it is. I mean, look at the eye line. He is not looking at X. There is no, you know what I mean? Like, we don't have that.
Well, he's shy. And
No.
also, I think he's not really there. He's on a green screen.
Right, yes,
I don't
that's
think these
also
two
true.
actors were next to each other.
Well, I'm just saying I don't see the chemistry.
Right.
Maybe
I see the
Axe and
chemistry
the bird.
with everyone.
I'll give you that.
I
Paolo's pretty good at talking to this bird.
yeah, sure. And this is where so again, Tobias becomes a boy. We're still inside the diary, the Hackdedeck.
The hacked deck, yeah.
And
dark
this is where it kind of felt like, oh, are they about to? Because I just assumed this is a Tobias episode. We're gonna let him morph. We're just gonna let this thing give him his morph powers because why the fuck not? It already doesn't make sense.
I didn't
Why not
assume
do
that
it?
because the episode was too close to over, and it wouldn't make any sense, and it would be like, why didn't
It
you do this
already made no
earlier?
sense.
But why? But if that was the point of the episode, was that he could morph again, why wouldn't it have happened earlier? I do see why you would think that, because at the beginning of the episode, I did think that this might build up to him being able to morph. But by the time we're in the like back eighth of the episode, I'm like, all right, it's too late.
But you didn't even think once when he's standing there as a boy and he's literally talking about, hey, I'm a boy now.
I mean,
Like
I
that-
thought that they're at that point. I'm like, yeah, it looks like they're trying to tease the idea that they might do that someday, but I didn't think they were going to do it this time. I
All
was already disillusioned with that idea.
But they don't, and that's the end of the episode.
Yes. Well, you did skip the part where Axe shows back up in Cassie's barn in his memory, and I do kind of enjoy that Cassie's like, "Oh, you're much better at walking," and Axe is like, "Yes, much practice," and he's walking in circles, and there's kind of the implication that like maybe Cassie thought he was just walking in circles. She didn't realize he had an adventure. Ax is he's a little troublemaker. You didn't know he got
Right.
loose. I liked
Did
that.
that scene really happen? I don't remember that.
Yeah, it happens.
That's
That's the bit
before.
you said earlier. That's the bit where he must have morphed Andalite because he morphs dog to human off screen.
Right.
Yeah.
I remembered that.
Yeah. But yeah, sappy piano music as Tobias, the boy, pets Tobias the hawk and then kind of statics out, and that's the end.
One big complaint at the end here, we do not get a credit for Sugar the dog's trainer.
No.
I'm wondering if it was also Brian Renfro or if someone else stood in.
Yeah. Hard to know.
Because Homer doesn't appear in this episode.
No. I mean, well, here's one thing I do like about the new opening is that Homer is in it, so I get to see him every episode.
That's pretty nice. This episode was all right.
I liked it. I enjoyed it. Like, once I kind of got past the idea that, yeah, they're not going to do the thing that they really should be doing and obviously should be promising, I enjoyed myself with it. I thought it was fun, you know. You kind of have to let go of the idea that it might be, like, important or do anything. But once you do that, I liked the antics.
Interesting to
fun.
hear you say that.
Hmm.
Just interesting.
In this
You just have
particular
to-
case, it worked.
Right. That's
Sometimes it doesn't. This time it
right.
worked for me. I liked the
Sure.
antics.
Yeah, no, it's just interesting.
Well, it helps that it's just like it's not even trying to do anything.
I-
It's not like it's trying to do
sure,
something and
I
then not doing it. It doesn't even.
just think
We're
it's
just not
interesting.
doing that.
I just think all I'm saying is it's interesting. I
Okay,
don't know
okay.
why you're cutting down my throat right now. You sound
Because
crazy.
you're very obviously implying things. I get
You
it.
sound
I'm not.
crazy
Uh-huh.
right now.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mr.
sound
Gaslighter
insane.
over there.
That's not even a real thing.
So anyway, you
I-
think the episode's okay?
Yeah, no, it was decent. I think it was like decent. It wasn't bad. I think the show does do. It seems to be proven at this point. The show does better
Mhm.
when it is not trying to one-to-one replicate a book,
Yeah.
even though they're never one-to-one. But even what would it be, 1-7? I don't know how you
Mhm.
change that phrasing. Like it's better when it strays off the beaten path, and I think it's just it seems to me that the writers and producers are reacting to the show so far and realizing, oh, hey, these characters haven't been able to do anything yet. They're a bit weaker.
Hmm.
Let's give them an episode together. Let's show them off. So you get some balancing in it. I almost want to rearrange the order of the episodes of this show because I think some of it is maybe a little too late.
Hmm.
This stuff would have gone a lot farther if we this Tobias episode without Axe even should have been like the 5th episode. We should not have had to wait this long to get his backstory.
Yeah. Well, remember that there are a lot of conflicting accounts of how these episodes actually aired, and they probably aired in different orders on different networks. And I don't know,
Could be.
which ones got overplayed when they were doing reruns and which ones didn't. So it's hard to know, but it is fully possible that there is some rearranging happening in the actual airing of the show.
It's either that or they just had a plan and they weren't now they're trying to course correct
Hmm.
after they realized they kind of fucked up, but they still haven't done that with Rachel, for instance.
Yeah. And it's,
Yeah.
it's not even that this adds. I mean, I guess it adds some to Tobias's character, but I guess most of what it adds is the idea that Axe and Tobias are in fact Shorms because they spent an entire episode hanging out and not doing anything else.
But we have way more. Axe and Tobias
Yeah.
have spent more time together than Tobias and anyone else, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Like maybe Rachel, but I don't think that's even true. Certainly not in human form.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm really wondering now, because at this point,
Hmm.
this was how many episodes do we have left of this show?
Let's see. This is episode 16 of I don't fucking know.
There's 10 episodes left.
Okay.
And that's including multiple part episodes. There's 10 episodes to go.
Yeah.
If Tobias is not able to morph by now, I'm starting to think he's not going to.
I feel like it must be a season conclusion thing, right? Like how could they
I don't
finish
know.
the first season and be like, and also he's not gonna morph next season either. Fuck it. How
Yeah,
could
and
they
why
do
do
that?
you introduce the Elemist if you're not gonna make that happen? But I mean,
Yeah.
looking ahead at the titles of episodes, like the series finale doesn't sound like it's where that happens. But what the fuck do I know? The titles of these episodes are meaningless. So it
Yeah,
could, but it's late enough in the run that it's like they've done it this far. Why not just keep him a bird forever? Because apparently they don't give a shit about
Yeah.
it.
I guess that's just what's happening. I don't know. I am a little bit worried now that you're saying that maybe that is in fact what's gonna happen.
And all this is just a strange episode in the sense of like it feels like it's setting that up and doesn't do it. It talks about the disc, but then doesn't pay anything
Mhm.
off with the disc. It's just they're like spinning all these wheels, and I don't understand what they're doing it for.
Mhm.
Like, do they just not know? Do they
Yeah.
just not know?
I mean,
and this
I
is just
don't
a filler
yeah.
episode, I guess.
I mean, that is
I
the thing.
guess.
I just like very quickly. I was just reading this as there's antics, and I'm gonna throw in a couple of hints that the main story is there, just so you don't forget. But I'm not doing any of that. Like that is what it felt like to me. It didn't feel like we were
Yeah.
doing the disc. We're just reminding you it exists. We're not doing Tobias becoming a boy. We're just reminding you he is one.
Yeah, which really, you really feel the confidence of the show in that regard. We're worried that you might have forgot these like core
Yeah.
aspects of our show, so we're going to devote an entire episode just to being like, hey, it's basically a big previously on.
In a way,
mean-
it is.
I mean, it literally is. It literally is a flashback episode.
Yeah, and even though like a lot of the stuff here isn't literal flashbacks, I mean there are bits here that are just literal flashbacks. Like, hey, remember this scene? Well, this is what happened after. Hey, me and Rachel in the past were remembering this. Remember how you saved us at the end of the first time we did something, you know?
Yeah. Also, no yerks in this entire episode.
No, yeah, that's true. Not one yerk. Very
This might be the first episode, the only one that has no yerk presence.
yeah, crazy. Crazy.
No Tom, nothing.
I do think part of what makes the show work better when you don't have a real episode. Like I'm thinking back to the episode where they were
On
in
the
the mall
Run.
with the disc on the run. That's what it is. Is that um they have a lot more freedom to just chain like silly stuff together, right? Like you don't have to say like, "Oh, I'm trying to hit these plot points that maybe I'm not that good at hitting, so I don't have time to do this silly scene into this." Like they can just say like, "Eh, fuck it. The silly scene in the pet shop where the controller is trying to buy the Andalite, that's the plot." Right? It doesn't have to be an aside. That's the fucking plot because I don't have to hit any kind of plot point. I think it
Mhm.
frees them up to do things that maybe they're stronger at. And, I'm not going to say it's great that their strength is wasting time with silly filler, but it is more enjoyable.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think they're feeling themselves constantly being pulled back to
Mhm.
the serious concepts of the books, and they're trying to escape
Yeah.
the orbit of them. And it's the strength of the books is dragging the show down because it's not the strength of the show.
Mhm.
It's tricky.
Yeah.
Oh well, but yeah. I mean, look, I'm more on your side than not. I think this was one of the better episodes for sure.
Mhm. Well,
So
yeah, there's not that much else to say about it because it's not like it adds
Yeah.
to the, you know, like that.
Right.
We had it. I had fun.
And there it was, and there it went, and now it's gone. I guess the listeners could let us know what they think about this episode.
How could they do that?
They could email us, theyerkyboys@gmail.com. If you're watching the show for the first time, you can let us know your theories about the disc and Tobias and whether or not the cab driver's a she. How you feel about Fred. All that stuff. We'll read it on the show. Anything Animorphs related, really. You can also check out our Patreon, patreon.com/theyerkyboys. Every single week, we have a bonus episode. So if this isn't enough for you, we talk about other content related to Animorphs in some way. This week, we're going to be discussing a film called They Look Like People.
Which
Sounds
neither of us
creepy.
has seen, is that correct?
Who knows?
Mm.
By the time they're listening to this, I've probably seen it.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, I
that's true.
have.
Mm.
Wow. Check that out. We do all kinds of stuff. We also just talked about Everworld and Remnants. Well, if you're an Animorphs, if you like this podcast, then you should be subscribing to our Patreon. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. There's not a better use of your $5 a month. There isn't.
That's all. That's the best use. There's nothing else you could ever want.
If you want to follow me, I'm on TikTok. Wait a minute.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Not sure. I'm not sure. But check out my YouTube page, Quents on YouTube, or at the Quents. I just put out a song about video games that I'm proud of.
Yeah, that's right. You did.
Check that out, or follow me at Quents on Blue Sky if you want to.
Thanks, everyone, for listening. Tune in next time when we'll be talking about Season 1, Episode 17, Not My Problem, in which what happens is not really our problem, on The Yerky Boys.